turn it on. A choice of 3 handles will appear. We can see here, the cold hammer and the microneedle handle are combined. Let's look at multiple rows first. The top box is the setting of some therapeutic parameters in the clinic, and one of the rows he put together. Here is a setting parameter. Show the actual heat on the face of a point. We can look at and adjust these points from here. Here's a button, and then there are the four down here. Here is the length of his point. You can also understand the length of the line. And then there's his row number. She is the highest, but our machine can type shear lines. You can see cell lines here. The latter is hours. A distance between points. The first point and the second point, a distance between the two. This is where I get it. The distance between lines. You can see it's getting denser. Lines and lines are this point and this point up here is the distance. Set the parameters. We can start the clinical process. And then the bottom one is the one we set the parameters to below. A value is displayed. It's right down here. Here are some of the probe lifetimes. And here is what we currently plug in to identify. Studio would probe at the number of operating points. And some of his proven numbers, I don't have to worry about that. The parameters of these clinical settings, and then you set it up again. We need an energy value for the operation we want to operate. It's here. For the phase we recommend starting low to high, generally around the units. If you can handle the highs, let's increase this energy again. And then this is where we keep track of the number of calls we made. At the time of the count, he'll count every shot here. Set parameter. If the client is afraid of not remembering it next time, it can be started in the following box. Now we can click Save. After saving, its parameters will be updated in NE. For the next operation, we'll just click on NE. The parameters we set are turned on by default. Studio, because it operates the phase, will recognize a phase right here. Look at the pattern of the head phase. If it's a physical operation, it's a figure of the body. Set it inside. The main thing is to set an intensity of energy. It's the energy intensity backstage, but this client can ignore it. Because before we left the factory, it's all set up for him in advance. And then it's freezing. Because of our multi-exclusive probe, the silver part has a cooling function. If the customer wants to bring cooling, just turn him on. No. If you don't want it cooled, give it to him and turn it off. And then airplane mode is the speed of that dot. This flight mode versus this, yeah. Bike mode. With the bike is fast and slow. Airplane mode is fast and slow. We will choose the slow mode is better. Because, cross-modal. Maybe the pain will be relatively small. It's just that some clients might not be able to handle it. If you can accept it, you can also choose this mode change. Roll the ready and stop keys. It is currently suspended. After preparation, we probe it and it moves. After exercise, after these two icons appear, so we can run the operation. That way there won't be a similar situation. Car motor this case. Now they're both here. The ships are all there. Click on it to start dotting. When it's time to dot, it will be recorded here. What if the client says, if you want him to stop the process? How to operate? We hit the button on the handle again and he stopped. You can understand the buttons on the controller, yeah. The work key makes sense, yeah. Stop button, pause button. We're on the line right now. And then I just hit the stop button for him. So he is currently stopped in the line of typing. Ours is a multi-row operation interface. When it stops, click back. Fan carving operation interface is relatively simple. Well, frequency is the speed of that dot. Call as fast as you can. It's just the way it works, it has to be fast. We usually suggest a 3到8or 4比7 frequency. Customer operation. In this case, a specific range of values, the client can set it up on their own. Just give him a rough idea of the value. Energy word. Always suggest starting from low to high. Too high may cause redness and swelling of the face. And then the life of the probe is shown here. Then record the number of hits. The RD probe stop key is currently plugged in. Then ready key. RD the probe identifies the area in which it can operate. You can look at this energy. Then make a sound. You can turn it off, and then there's refrigeration. If it's cool, it's from our probe. It can be closed if the client wants it. That's off. Open like this. When it's activated, do not insert or remove the probe. Make sure you don't unplug the probe. In the activated state, he hit the handle and it started. Now you can look and listen. We currently turned off the sound dot. There is no sound. Click once to type the dot. We can look here. One sound. We open. Okay, can you hear me? There was this sound when you typed it. It's usually better to have the sound cue on. When not operating or replacing the probe. Controller. Hit our stop button. Then replace the probe. Microneedle cold hammer handle operation interface. When you come in, you can see that it's a time setting. Then there is the power of the radio frequency. Referring to the radio frequency, it's an energy release that comes out of the needle and goes under our skin. The higher the wattage, the faster and more intensely it heats up. Well, then there's our convex needle. These steps. We must pay attention to the phase. Its maximum value is only recommended in the RD/nm range. Do not exceed RD/nm of thick needle to operate. This is very dangerous. And then there's this burst pattern. Official words are not in explosive mode for the time being. And then there's his needle count. There were two. One time to choose a needle. This is the first time, that's twice. You know, it just keeps popping out twice. then stop. The following are the same. And the difference between the body and the face. One is the walkthrough RF walkthrough. The body can go up to 300万Hz. Then the needle depth can go up to 7.0. Because of the skin of our bodies, its thickness is much thicker. So it goes deeper when we get the needle. Much deeper than the face. Burst mode. It closes in 3 stages. We can demonstrate that now. Just click Start here. It must be operated with the foot. As you can see, cut the needle 3 times. This is the pattern of its eruption. And then the thing that needs to be clear is to be in outbreak mode. It is limited to 1 operation above 6.0. I mean, one of his beats, one of his the depth of the needle. After you lower the depth, burst mode doesn't work. You can perform this outbreak mode above. 5.5 outbreak mode cannot be executed after 5.7. Just make a note of this. Then there is. The following is the number of times the needle is recorded. Now we're using the second one, this body handle. Look it up and notice it goes from 21 to 22. This is the number of times recorded. These are also the times recorded. It's the master record. One is single time, a record that can be 0 dot. And then set the parameters. To save, click here to select a location. Just click Save again. All microneedle handles are 2 handles, can work at the same time. Open it up and put your feet on both sides. Can all work simultaneously. Opening up the code hammer. We just need to change this scale from 0 to 5. It starts working. After work, you can touch the surface of the probe. Is there a situation where the temperature drops? If there is, this is normal.